Now let's shift our focus to Israel. The violence in the region is escalating. In fact, the tensions made Israel's Foreign Minister Eli Cohen cut his India visit short. He was supposed to leave today after a host of meetings, but he raced back to Israel on Tuesday after the fighting intensified. Today is the third day of continuous fighting. Militants in the Gaza Strip have been launching rockets. Israel has been conducting airstrikes. This morning, a top commander of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group was killed. His apartment was hit in a pre-dawn strike. It was one of many attacks. Israel's military says it hit 158 PIJ targets. They've been ramping up the offensive. Our next report brings you the details.
Violence keeps on escalating in the Gaza Strip. Today is the third consecutive day of fighting. Rockets are being fired continuously, both by Palestinian militants and the Israeli military. Israel says it's cracking down on the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, or PIJ group. So far, it has taken out 4 PIJ commanders. The fourth commander, Ali Ghali, was killed early this morning. He was allegedly in charge of the PIJ's rocket launch unit. The Israeli military says 3 people were killed in their pre-dawn airstrike. It claims the other 2 were also militants. A funeral procession was held for Ghali today. His daughter spoke to the press.
I was following the news. I couldn't sleep because of these circumstances. I was watching the news channels. I heard that there was a bombing of a residential apartment in the town of Hamad. I kept watching because I had relatives living there, until I received the news that my father, my uncle and cousin had all been martyred. The 3 of them had been killed together as they were in the same apartment.
This is a shot of his apartment after the Israeli strike. The building he lived in isn't just filled with militants, though.
I went downstairs and I found dead bodies in this area. They bombed the house without any warning while people were asleep.
The latest bout of violence has left at least 27 Palestinians dead. This includes 5 women and 5 children. At least 70 people have been injured during the attacks. And the situation may boil over to another war between Gaza and Israel. The PIJ released this video of its fighters preparing for more rocket launches. They've promised to avenge the deaths of their commanders. Yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said this.
Citizens of Israel, we are still in the middle of the military campaign. At this very moment, our forces are attacking with might in the Gaza Strip and exacting a heavy price on the terrorist organizations. We say to the terrorists and those who send them, we see you everywhere. You can't hide, and we choose the place and time to strike you. We do, not you. Not only by retaliating, also with calm. The choice is ours.
Strong words in keeping with his strong man image. It begs the question, is Netanyahu using this escalation for his own ends? Remember, he's been facing massive protests since the turn of the year. His government is facing flack for his proposed judicial overhaul. Critics say his plan would undermine the country's democracy. And people were out in the streets in force. He's been on the back foot for a while now. This latest escalation is an opportunity for him to burnish his credentials. That might explain why the Israeli attacks continue, despite Egypt and other nations brokering a ceasefire. Despite condemnation from the UN and bodies like the Norwegian Refugee Council. Because Netanyahu knows that there's no way to only target militants. They make their offices in civilian buildings for a reason, after all. It's a situation where no matter who attacks, ordinary people will pay the price. But despite this, Netanyahu's pressing on with the attack. Cool heads, not strongman tactics, are the need of the hour.